Good Monday afternoon, everyone. How's it going? Time for another edition of your favorite, or at least one of your top five favorite weekly segments on the Seattle Seahawks on this channel. Snap Count Monday. So let's see who played, let's see who didn't play, let's see how much they played, and let's see what we can learn from it. So, some interesting data this week, mostly because of the fact that we actually had a lot of offensive snaps and not a lot of defensive snaps. We actually won the time of possession battle. We won the snap count battle. So, hey, first time for everything. It took 12 games, but we finally actually won the TOP battle. So, who got those snaps? Let's take a look here. So we're going to start with running back like we always do. Rashad Penny got 29 snaps leading the team. And Rashad Penny, he did all that he could, man. He played hard. He played well. I think he got what he could out there. I don't think he was utilized great. He was put in a lot of bad situations. But he was relatively productive, all things considered. I don't think you can expect a ton more from a running back in this offensive line, behind this offensive line right now. 29 snaps. Travis Homer had 21 snaps, which makes sense. He actually played a really good game. Travis Homer did. Special teams, and I thought he made some nice plays on offense as well. So good for Travis Homer. DJ Dallas played 2 snaps, and by the way, since I know some people are going to ask, Adrian Peterson played I think it was 17 snaps. He's not listed here because that's not something that I think is all that educational, but it was something like that. So, here's my thing, okay? I understand that we wanted to win that game yesterday, and we did, and I'm happy about winning. But why are you giving guys who don't have a future on this team so many snaps? Rashad Penny, God bless him, he played a pretty decent game yesterday. He did what he could. He's not going to be here next year 99%. And in the 1% case that he is here, you sure as shit can't depend on him. So I don't know why you're giving him so much action like you're trying to see what he has. We know what Rashad Penny has. He has bones made out of paper mache. And Travis Homer, he'll be here next year, granted, but we already kind of know what he is. What we don't know about is DJ Dallas. We don't know about Josh Johnson. So I understand that these guys did have decent games. Like Rashad Penny threw a great block at one point, by the way. Got to throw that in as well when talking about him. But I wish we could just get some action to these guys who may or may not be part of the future. Okay, wide receiver. DK Metcalf played 62 snaps. Lockett played 59. Lockett missed a few plays because he got hurt at one point. That dragged his snap count down a little bit, but pretty much what you would expect there. Dwayne Eskridge is on the come up. He got 22 snaps to Freddie Swain's 32 and Penny Hart's 9. So Dwayne Eskridge, he's slowly working his way up, man. Dwayne Eskridge slowly getting this stuff together. And look, I know some of you guys like Freddie Swain. He's not a terrible player or anything, but Dwayne Eskridge has more talent, that's for sure. So I want to get Dwayne Eskridge out there and see what's up. And Eskridge made some plays out there today. He did pretty good. So hopefully that's something that continues as this season goes on. Penny Hart, obviously he's just kind of getting the odd snap here or there. It doesn't really mean anything. But I do want to go back to the fact that everyone was singing Penny Hart's praises in the training camp and preseason. And it's just so hard to take stuff like that seriously when you hear all that and then you see him barely get on the field and not really do anything when he does. So I don't know. I don't know. It gets old about hearing about how good these guys are in training camp and practice, and then it doesn't translate. Philip Dorsett's off the team now. By the way, I think he's actually on the Texans, so he obviously won't be playing any more snaps for us this year. Tight end, pretty much what you would come to expect at this point. Everett got 54 snaps, so he played almost the whole game. And look, I don't need to tell you guys how bad he played. He played bad. You know it. I know it. But now that we're a little bit away from that game, now that we're almost 24 hours past that game, he's not a bad player. In fact, he's a good player, and he's been good for the most part this year when we've actually utilized him. I understand that. the game he had yesterday was so bad and so detrimental to this team that I felt like I needed to roast him a little bit. But he's a good player. Seeing him getting so many snaps is probably a positive. Will Dissly had 33 snaps. He seemed to play all right. Colby Parkinson got in there a little bit, 7 snaps. So he's getting a decent chunk of action this year. He's not really doing that much, but he is actually on the field, which, hey, I like. I like it. Got to see what these guys have. I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad, but I know we're not going to find out if we just leave him on the bench every game. So if he can work his way in for a few more snaps the rest of the season, I think that can only help going forward right now. So, like I said, ever since Everett got back from COVID or whatever was actually, he's been seizing control of the tight end room, and I think that's probably correct. I know this is not the right time to say that because of the game that Everett just had, but he's a good player. He could be part of this team's future, and I want to give him a chance to prove that he's better than that. Okay, defense. Starting with the defensive ends. Interesting data here. Carlos Dunlap was basically shelved again, except this time he actually played good. 7 snaps on defense for Carlos Dunlap, and he got a sack, a safety on that sack, and the game-winning pass deflection on 4th down. So, hey, good game, I guess. He was passive-aggressively whining in his press conference about not getting enough playing time, which, to that I say, you would be getting playing time if you had played well before this game. If you had actually had big games earlier in the season, you would be playing, but there's no reason to play you, so I don't want to hear it. You're not playing because you didn't do anything before. You had 11 games before this one. You did basically nothing. So I don't want to hear that, but he did play well, so props to Dunlap for that. Alton Robinson played 21 snaps, which is a lot less than I would like. But, we only had, 58 snaps on defense this week. 58 snaps. That's actually a reasonable number of defensive snaps to play. So that's a little more understandable. Benson Mayowa played 32 snaps. Kerry Hyder played 20. Rasheem Green played 38. So once again, I'm seeing the same things. The guys who we know what they are and very probably are not part of this team's future plans are playing more snaps than the guys who may be here going forward for the future. Alton Robinson is going to be here for the future potentially. Kerry Hyder maybe as well. I know he's not young, but he's not old, and he's having a pretty decent season, all things considered. So that's your ends. Let's take a look at the defensive tackles. Pretty balanced, pretty fair. Poona Ford, 36. Al Woods, 35. LJ Collier got a little bit of action. He played 15 snaps, and Brian Monet played 28. I think he got hurt at one point, but the defensive tackle room is really balanced right now. We're seeing a reasonable number of snaps being spread around among our players. So I like that. That's a big deal. Linebacker, pretty much what you would expect at this point. Bobby Wagner played every snap, but it was only 58 this time, which is a big improvement over every other game we played this year. Jordan Brooks played basically every snap as well, by the way, 56. And Brooks played pretty good, by the way. Obviously, Jordan Brooks is a player I'm up and down with pretty much every week. But Jordan Brooks seemed to hold his own. He did good in run defense, seemed to make some plays there. So Brooks did good. And Darrell Taylor got 30 snaps. I'd like to see more, but it's understandable when you only play 58 snaps total. He played more than half the game for basically a rookie. That's reasonable. I can't hate on that. So that was a pretty good spread. And look, depending on the matchup, I'm not going to want to play Brooks this much going forward, but this is not a bad spread for linebackers. All right, finally, we got cornerback. Pretty much run-of-the-mill stuff. DJ Reed played every snap, and he played good. Sidney Jones missed some snaps. I don't know if he got benched or if he got injured, but he missed 9 snaps, and Blessuan Austin took all 9 of them. Sidney Jones, I don't think he played as well as he played last week, but I don't know if he played bad enough to get benched. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but he did come out for a little bit, and Austin filled in. Hugo Amadi played 26 snaps, so he actually had a reduced role. And Hugo, he made some pretty bad plays out there by my estimation, so not enamored with Hugo's game right now. And Ryan Neal filling in for the injured Jamal Adams. played a lot of snaps. He played 33. And, Ryan Neal, you got to get him out there one way or the other. So I'm happy about that, I guess. That's good. But that's it for Snap Count Monday. Some things that I like, some things that I don't like, and some things that are up to interpretation. If you respect the fact the Seahawks are still really trying to win every game and they're still playing like they have a chance at the playoffs, then playing guys like Adrian Peterson and Rashad Penny is a little more understandable. But if you are playing the odds and knowing that the odds of the playoffs are so long it's silly to even talk about right now, then we really could stand to get some of the younger guys out there and kick the tires on people who might actually be here next year and the year after. But that's your Snap Count Monday. Hey, bottom line, it's great news to finally have a game where you play more on offense than on defense. Finally. It finally happened. That is unimpeachably good news. See you guys later today. Go Hawks.